What's up guys? Imola is a classic circuit that I absolutely love. It's fast, tight and technical in some areas and requires a car that can handle cornering at speed. You'll also need to attack every curb around Imola, so ensuring your car isn't too stiff or skittish is important. Jumping straight into the aero setup for this one, I've gone for an ever so slightly low downforce based setup, well compared to the default F122 setups that is. This will help increase your top speed down the long main straight. This is the main overtaking spot and is DRS assisted, making it an important part of the track to consider. Opt for just 19 on the front wing and 27 on the rear wing. This approach is similar to all our other F122 setups so far, with a priority on the rear aero balance. For the transmission, you should lower both your on and off throttle diff for Imola. Lower on throttle diff will help you accelerate out of the slower corners easier, and there are a few of those around this track. Turns 7, 12 and 15 all pose a challenge for your throttle management, and it's easy to oversteer out of all of these tricky corners. An on throttle differential setup of just 65 will help here. For your off throttle diff, I'm going to compensate for the lack of front aero with a low setup. Go for 55 here to help rotate your car better into slower speed turns. For your camber setup, go with -2.7 on the front and -1.6 on the rear. While Imola feels incredibly high speed due to the narrow track layout, the medium speed corners allow us to run higher amounts of toe than at other tracks. This will aid with responsiveness, which is crucial at this track in F122. Go for 0.08 on your front toe and 0.32 on your rear. For the suspension, I've gone with a stiff front suspension and soft rear. This will give the front end of the car a lot more agility as you turn the wheel, while the softer rear will improve rear traction and drive over curbs. Opt for 8 on both front suspension and anti-roll bar, and 1 on both rears. For the ride height, I've opted for 3 and 4. Any lower and you'll have an extremely tough ride over the curbs, especially with the softer rear suspension. The brake setup is my normal setup of 100% brake pressure, 50% brake bias. Again, this is the most efficient way to set up your brakes for most tracks in F122. For the tyre pressures, I've gone a little low for this setup, with 23.5 on both fronts and 21.3 on both rears. You'll have a car that's kind on its tyres throughout the race. Imola isn't overly harsh on tyres, which is why we haven't had to accommodate tyre wear too much in our suspension geometry and tyre setup. Instead, we've got a fine balance between performance and tyre life. This Imola setup will help manage your oversteer and traction out of the slower corners, while the slightly lower downforce approach will keep you quick down the incredibly long pit straight. Let me know what setup you're using in the comments below, and if you enjoy this video, hit that like button as it will really help the YouTube algorithm. I'll be releasing F122 setups almost daily, so subscribe to our channel and hit that alert bell to be notified when new videos drop. But for now guys, enjoy the game and I'll see you on track.